Home cooking is good for you. Makes you strong, keeps your vitality. Like my wife says, Tony, don't let me catch you eating junk food on your way. Ancestral spirits return to dine for the tasty recipe that is so divine. Home cooked rhythms are something to savor. Tony Allen has got the flavor, marinated to blow your minds. Drop this one and you will truly find that home cooking is the best by a mile. Let the master drummer teach you in style.
You gotta have a tongue for the taste. It's the kind of food you don't waste. Food for your mind and your belly. Not a burger in front of the telly. The kind of food that keeps you strong. Keeps you balanced all day long. You gotta feed up your foundation. For a nation.
The crap out of it until it was, really tender. And then he would fry it, and he would put in tomatoes and potatoes and a bunch of different kind of vegetables. He would cook this, but he wouldn't eat it because he would just eat the meat part and he'd scrape all the vegetables and stuff off of it. And, onions, all kinds of things he would just put, and he'd let it cook like, I don't know, he let it simmer for like a couple hours, and maybe even longer. And it was so good. It was like, that's the only thing. I don't know if he knew how to cook anything else, or if that's the only thing he liked to cook, or what it was. I don't really quite remember, but every once in a while he would get this urge to cook this meal, and like we were so happy when he did, because there was a lot of it. We didn't have to worry about, and we were only allowed to have so much of a portion, of the food, because he would make a lot because he bought like this cheap, like I said, like this cheap cut of beef.
Yeah, well, those are the tastiest ones, right?
And then pound it into oblivion, and then throw in these vegetables, which we already had.
Right.
The potatoes, the onions, the carrots, just 7 or 8 or 9 different kinds of vegetables.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
I'll have to ask Glenn if she remembers what it was called. I want to say soft breast steak, but I don't think that's what it was. It was something steak. I can't remember exactly what he called it, but
that sounds incredible. Who knew?
It was really good. I mean, my mother would never have taken the time to do all that, because, like I said, he didn't really like it. He would, like I said, scrape up the stuff and just eat the meat. So he was just the meat and potatoes whatever, but everything was plain. Everything was just, everything was just no fuss, no muss, no fuss. It was just,
Yeah. Well, and you said he liked things super well done also, right?
what?
He liked his meat really well done? Or is that just how Grandma
No,
made it?
actually, whenever we went to a restaurant, I remember he would order his meat, medium or something, or rare, I don't know. But my mother didn't cook it like that. I mean, he would eat it. He would eat it anyway. It really didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time I cooked a meal for my family. My mother was working at the time. She worked off and on for like 3 years. But I think I was 12. And she had gotten pork chops and put in the refrigerator to thaw in the refrigerator. And I thought that I would be a big help and surprise them and make dinner for them when they got home from work. Well, this was my first time I ever cooked. Okay, first time I ever cooked. 11 or 12. And the pork chops were kind of cooked into unrecognizable little pieces of shoe leather or something. And the potatoes, I boiled the potatoes so that the potatoes just kind of fell apart in the water. It was awful.
Aww.
It was really awful.
Food plays an intrinsic and ever-changing role in my life and the life of my family today. Before this project, I drew a line between my experiences with food after a certain age and what I saw as the limited role of food in my early life and in the lives of my parents, grandparents, and so on. I was wrong. My mother's rich, vibrant, and meaningful collection of food memories caught me off guard. I thought she didn't really care about food, and nor did my grandparents. They just ate to live, and that was that. I didn't know that my grandfather was born on a farm and grew up planting, tending, and harvesting food for his family and to sell. Later in life, he maintained a garden that was the envy of the neighborhood, spending all of his free time there. I had no idea that my grandmother was an expert canner, putting up the overflow of vegetables my grandfather produced each year and serving them up all through the winter. And as somebody pressed into cooking for the family at a very young age, I definitely had no idea that my mother voluntarily began cooking for her parents and sister at age 12. I continue to make connections to my past through food and stories about food. All this while I and my family forge through the present and ultimately connect with the future through growing, cooking, and eating, and all that goes with it. Food tells our stories for us. My family stories lie in these pictures. We have so many pictures related to food in our family's albums. Any one of these pictures can lead me to a story of a botched meal, a new friendship, how loved I felt when somebody cooked something for me, something really funny that happened once, or a special moment captured in time by the remembered flavors of a certain dish. Food tells my jokes for me. Really big food, bad food, dogs dressed as food, food stacked so high it's about to fall, food on my face or in my hair. I think I'm pretty funny, really, and some of these photos are proof of that, right? Through food, my family connects. Today, we have each found our roles around food. I make dinner. You want a meal? Come to me. Gwyneth is known for her cookies, and when any of us crave some, she's got us covered. Last Christmas, she made 8 or 9 dozen assorted Christmas cookies for us to bag and give out to her neighbors in the building. Madeline is quite the bread baker. Quick breads, yeast breads, whatever. She's learning why bread behaves the way it does, tweaking and trying, and we're all too happy to taste the fruits of her trials. She can't stop with those Oprah Winfrey I Love Bread commercials. Ella is willing to jump in to help anybody who needs it. She's always available to stir, measure, knead, or to throw together a batch of pancakes. She's my prep cook and sous chef. And Beverly. She's not in the kitchen too often, but when she is, she's a pastry powerhouse. Beverly is our family's closer. She owns dessert. Requests for holiday favorites come rolling in around August or September. Yes, Aunt Chesley, we know you love molten lava cakes. Neighbors pop into Aunt Madeline's at Christmas time, knowing full well that when they see our car parked outside, incredible desserts await them inside. Year-round, at our home, our whole family is known as a food destination. My sister knows where to come for an interesting meal any day of the week, and so do our friends and our daughter's friends. Thus, our connections extend beyond our family unit, pulling our friends and acquaintances into our family group, our home, establishing and deepening relationships. When Beverly and I first decided to become a family, her mother, Patty, welcomed us into her home for the first time with a huge, delicious meal. I think it was chicken fried steak with country gravy, potatoes, and some veggie or another. Patty cooks like TV moms, and I was giddy with excitement to eat something that real. There isn't one of us who doesn't look forward to a hearty, earnest cooking when we visit. Patty equates food with love in such a straightforward way. Once she overheard that I'm a huge fan of Rice Krispie treats, and I never make them for myself. And the next time we visited, she had a full pan of them waiting for me. I almost cried. It really meant so much. Beverly's extended family has also provided an opportunity for culinary connection. Her Aunt Madeline, whom you'll see a few times in these photos, frequently hosts holidays or other celebratory meals for the family. She provides the space, the plan, the basics, but everybody pitches in. Prepping and cooking alongside Beverly and her family gave me the opportunity to build relationships with all of them. At first, I tried to fit in as a follower, but before long, I felt comfortable contributing ideas, techniques, and dishes. That actually works as an overall metaphor for settling into a new family for me, I guess. It's pretty apt. Another point of connection between food and family that has become really obvious as I put this project together is vacation food. This came to me when I realized just how many vacation food photos I have in this album. We eat a lot on vacation. Vacations give us the opportunity to forget the usual dynamic and relax and enjoy what's happening in the moment. We've been going to Maine together for a number of years, Beverly, the girls, and I, and the time we spend there is incredibly special. Sometimes we invite other family members to come up and enjoy a day or two with us. We always feast in Maine. We definitely use food while on vacation to communicate. We cook locally inspired meals of lobster and haddock. We have a certain place where we like to get our fish, and another place where we know we can get a great deal on an awesome lobster roll. And most importantly, we're loosely committed as a family to have an all-you-can-eat s'mores-making session at the campfire every single night. To counter the usual dynamic of familial responsibility, Beverly and I sit back in our Adirondack chairs while the kids take turns volunteering to make custom s'mores for us on demand. They'll switch out the graham crackers for different kinds of cookies, swap the chocolate for Nutella or Reese's Cups. The possibilities are endless. There's always a marshmallow. We go to bed stuffed, smelling like wood smoke, and feeling the warmth of the fire and the warmth of our little family ritual. I work in the food industry, probably no accident there, and have the good fortune of connecting with my teammates and customers via food as well. I bring stories and customs from my family into the data and presentations in order to provide my customers with solid recommendations for assortments and promotions. I have cases of samples sent to my house all the time. Some are for me to try, some are for me to share with my customers. We try them. And I'm pretty honest with my customers. If Beverly and the girls think something is junk, I'll say it, and I'll recommend something else. I have my finger on the pulse of the consumer because I am the consumer. I also get to share meals with my team and with my customers, entertaining customers with a nice dinner at food shows, out for drinks after with my team. Getting to know one another over a table brings a sense of authenticity and joy to what I do. I'm really fortunate to have this opportunity to engage in such meaningful ways in my professional life. We're all shaped not only by our own experiences, but by the experiences and attitudes of those who came before us. My interactions with my food culture, was formed of my life in the context of my mother's life. I didn't realize this before, and hers was shaped by her parents' experiences with food. Our daughter's food culture is defined not only by mine, but my wife's and her family's, and in how they share food with their friends. Food creates rich bonds between individuals, families, and communities in ways that are clear and in ways that are subtle. We inform each other's realities, building on the cultures we grew out of. My hope is that our ways of cooking, sharing, and eating are passed on to the next generation in ways that inspire creativity, ritual, and connection between us all.
That home cooking is the best by a mile. Let the master drummer teach you in style.
You gotta have a tongue for the taste. It's the kind of food you don't waste. Food for your mind and your belly. Not a burger in front of the telly. The kind of food that keeps you strong. Keeps you balanced all day long. You gotta feed up your foundation.